Joy.
We don't care who you vote for in the upcoming election. You know why? Because this is not a political ad. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group meet with people every day wondering if they should be doing something different with their money because it's an election year. At Retire Ready Financial Group, we want you to know where your money is, how it's performing, and if the market does go down, how does it affect your retirement? We call it a portfolio snapshot, and we do it at no charge. Our goal is for you to have confidence as you enter retirement, confidence to spend, and confidence that you won't run out of money. Let's vote those election worries right out of your retirement. For your complimentary portfolio snapshot, call 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or go to retirereadyfg.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James B. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC. NPN number 2083768.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the C40 lease for 36 months for under $500 to qualified buyers. This is a really fun Volvo to drive. We also have a huge selection of certified Volvos. And what about $15,000 off when leasing a 2024 XC90 hybrid? This is an incredibly fabulous Volvo. It's the Volvo I drive. Visit us here at Cherry Hill Volvo for the attention and respect you deserve.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Are you experiencing a period of poverty? Or is it period poverty? This is so weird. This is Montgomery County, of course. We'll talk about the period poverty and the free stuff that they're giving out. We have all kinds of alerts and health alerts with the sloth virus. Here we go. There are warnings of, and I always do give out warnings about scams, and I think this is important, that these scam issues that are out there, but authorities issuing this special alert throughout our area. And I know that in Montgomery County, in the suburbs, seriously, they're saying this, but across our region, warning people about these different scams because it does look real if you receive this. So they pretend, and if off the top, it looks very official, United States District Court with the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, and you have a failure to appear, contempt of court, we're coming after you. So the police, the local police in the suburbs are warning people about this. And they released this warning last night. I don't know if you heard of it, but it really is a scam that is quite convincing when you see the paperwork. Tricking local residents into, paying up money to dismiss an arrest warrant because you allegedly you ignored some kind of a government notice. And so people get this and they think, oh my goodness, there's a warrant out for my arrest, and it's quite threatening and ominous. And so the local police departments are issuing these alerts to say, you need to know that arrest warrants are never, ever handled in this manner. And I know that District Attorney Kevin Steele and you've heard him here on Kale and Company. He's been here live and in person on all the shows. A longtime District Attorney Kevin Steele putting out this particular warning. But I know that law enforcement and district attorneys across our region are concerned about this. So no money is involved if there is a warrant issued for somebody's failure to appear in court for any reason. So if you receive this, call or go in person, to your local courthouse. They will verify if this is real. But I know we've had different scams, the IRS, which has put out warnings to say we're never gonna ask you for money, and especially for a gift card. That's another, or Bitcoin. They're never going to do that. But people are releasing. Apparently, they're receiving either a hard copy in your physical mail or an email, and then it's going to have an attached document that you don't want to open either. Although I'm not sure that this scam in particular is doing anything with when you open it. But they're just releasing the statement. If you receive one of these emails and you're concerned, go to the local courthouse. You can even go to your local police department and show what you received. They can always verify that, no, this is not the way it's handled. The Montgomery County Detectives Bureau, they're also putting this out. The sheriffs, they're trying to put it out in every way they can, working with other law enforcement to make sure that everybody knows this is a total scam, and it's one more way. And these scams just get more detailed by the minute. And part of this is AI. By the way, we're going to have some fun with AI. Henry and Jimmy are working on a little something, so we'll get to that one as well. Did you listen? First of all, did you listen? Hi. I forgot to say hi. You had me at hello. Dawn Stensland, at Dawn Stensland on X. Were you listening last night, or did you just get the highlights from Kale and Company, which I don't blame you. The audio to me is somebody rightfully had said it sounded like Buddy Hackett. Remember Buddy Hackett, and he kind of talked like this, kind of thick in his speech, and that was kind of a cute little thing. But Trump Greg Stocker nailed it. He said that this is an issue of, and I'm not a techie person, obviously, but Jimmy Kelly, our engineer, Henry Machette, our producer. I love saying Henry's name. Machette's the most mispronounced name of a beautiful name that we could say. Do you understand this issue of why Trump sounds? We'll air a little so you can hear it, but what is this? It's compression of the audio. Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, usually in the most cases where audio is, a low quality, it's usually just how you're recording it. So if you don't have a good microphone in front of you like we both do right now, you're going to sound spotty. So
it's not even the way they recorded it, but rather the physical microphone?
It could be the way they recorded the physical microphone. It's a mixture of all those things. Like, he could have been talking like away from the microphone like this, and you barely hear me, right? So something as easy as that. Or like,
no, he sounds like I thought he had dental work like I've had. And thank you, Dr. Bentz, Dr. Sarah. They saved me literally over. I mean, it's too long of a story, but all these oral surgeries, and I was just on The Office with them. But at first I thought, okay, Trump needs Dr. Bentz, because I was, as you know, I was in the chair for 4 hours Thursday. Remember that Thursday night? Mm-hmm. And then was here bright and early in the wee hours of the morning. And then it was just the two of us with Sean Farish. Yeah. I mean, so I thought, oh boy, it was a dental thing. But then Greg said, no, this was a compression audio technical issue last night. I thought, what? That's insane.
Yeah, it does seem a little surreal almost.
At that level. So we'll get to some. It's a great conversation, and what a shame that it's like this. And I'll just put out there the question, Elon Musk, not for nothing, he's a bazillionaire. He's a gazillionaire, trillionaire, I don't know, billionaire.
He's got a couple bucks.
He's got a lot of money. So, and he makes rockets, and he's really a genius guy. And so I would love to prove the point that maybe if you're just a doer, maybe we could prove this to Elon, that we here at Odyssey World Headquarters have world-class talent. What if? Like, what if somebody here, not mentioning any names, Jimmy or Henry, could possibly, clean up the audio just a little bit to give an example?
Yeah, we're seeing right now.
Is it possible?
We're seeing right now if it's possible. We got our best people on it.
To be unburdened.
AKA just me and Jim here.
That would be, and I think it would go viral. I think we could start the Elon Awards, that Elon Musk could give, I don't know, even just somebody an attaboy for doing something that, this guy builds rockets, right?
Yeah.
Builds things. He's a really cool guy. But this is the Everyman Elon Award. I think we start this.
Yeah.
Start something new. I don't know.
I like it.
I like to propose things. 855-839-1210. All right, so we'll go to some of the audio. I look at this Time magazine cover, and we showed it earlier. It's quite a beautiful cover, and I don't know if we're on YouTube. Yesterday we were knocked off. We had all these world tech issues. Google was down, YouTube was down, and is part of this Iran, because we've managed to just really tick off, I don't know, different individuals at different. So you have terrorists who are ticked off at Trump. They don't like Trump. Think about this. Some of the most dangerous, heinous terrorists in the world right now have a hit out for Trump. If you're not going to vote for Trump, just that right there. The most evil, heinous terrorists in the world reportedly have this hit out on Trump, and they've failed twice. Think about that for a moment. So we know now that a dude who was an Iranian-backed dude, according to the authorities, Pakistani guy, flew into the country, which I guess is the counter argument against terrorists coming here. They don't even have to walk across the border, although by the hundreds, we know from our State Department and FBI they have. But this dude just flew into the country. Thank God the feds caught him, arrested him July 12th. That's what they say. And that number one on his list, on the hit list, was Trump. That's the word. Number one. Then the next day, a wannabe assassin tries to take out Trump, shoots, fires, kills another American hero, Corey Comparator, a dad and husband, and kills him, murders him, kills him, takes a chunk off of Trump's ear and misses him, by blowing his head off essentially and murdering him, but injures others at that Butler, Pennsylvania rally. The next day after the feds arrest the first dude who flew in. So two attempts. And that, when I heard last night Trump saying and now making this big announcement, and Trump played it, we'll play it again. Can we play it again in just like 10 seconds? I know Greg Stocker played this earlier this morning, but this is where Trump tells Elon Musk that in October, Trump is going to hold another rally in Butler County, Pennsylvania, there at the farm grounds, where he evaded death. And I got chills when I heard that, because I thought, you think of that old saying, the third time's the charm. So if we're thinking about, number one, the first dude who they arrested, who's an international hit guy, assassin, allegedly, number one. Number two, you have the domestic wannabe assassin who was killed in Butler, Pennsylvania, right? So number two. And so I did get chills, because I thought, oh God, third time's the charm. Now, returning to the scene of the crime, the Trump campaign, and that's chutzpah. Because I'm superstitious. And now Greg Stocker announcing this morning the Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. We will, and I hope we can do this. Greg said, look, when Stalker says it, Stalker says, when Stalker says it, it happens. So we're going to have a bus, we're going to bring busloads of people, and we're going to return to the scene of the crime. We're going to return to the murder scene where Corey Comparator was murdered. Trump says he's going to dedicate that rally in October to a great dad, a great American hero, volunteer firefighter. I mean, the whole thing started giving me chills. And again, right now, I get these butterflies in my stomach. I don't know if you're like this, but I get these spidey senses. And I'm thinking, oh my God. I'm sure Melania Trump, because I think she's like this. And that's why when Donald remember when Donald even told Nick Cale and I that, Barron is getting involved and Barron is going to be a super delegate and Melania Trump. And I hope to interview her. I want to bring her here, and she's going to have this new book. You know, I just idolize her. She's like the perfect woman. 855-839-1210. But I imagine when she heard this, she also just thought, Donald, why are you doing this? It's like he's tempting fate or something. Am I wrong?
A little bit. I mean,
are you like this? See, I'm very superstitious.
I do think you got to kind of face that fear, so to say, right? Maybe if you're him, just to show, like, I'm bigger than this. I'm bigger than,
oh my God,
this moment in my life.
Could we get some of that bulletproof glass or whatever and at least put it around him?
Get the Pope Mobile out
here.
Yeah,
the Pope.
Can we borrow that for a weekend?
The Pope Mobile and the Pope. Yeah. Please. 855-839-1210. All right. Do you have that? Let's listen to this. You tell me when he's saying, and please try to ignore the audio compression thing that's making him sound like he's Buddy Hackett. But do you get chills when do you worry when you hear him say this?
By the way, we're going back to Butler, and we're going to go back in October. We're all set up, and the people are fantastic in Butler. It's a great area. Great. These are incredible people. Like the three that, in the case of Corey killed, and the other two, the families I got to know them a little bit, and the families are great. But we're going back to Butler.
We're going back to Butler. And that's just it. You think of the chutzpah of this man. First time he misses the bullet, takes a chunk off of his ear. It's just happening. And quite frankly, when you're shot like that, and I imagine your ears are ringing and you're physically, not just emotionally, but you're physically reacting to that. You don't know quite what happened. And you don't know that it just took the chunk of your ear, right? It's not like he could see or know for sure that he wasn't shot anywhere else. But in the shock of that moment, fight, he gets up there and does that, which Elon Musk, just praised him for that. And everybody did. Everybody just, and that's the thing, the Democrats and the Harris walls and Biden camp, they don't want us talking about this because it's a moment that's iconic in our nation's history. And it shows this great American, this businessman. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a grandfather, and it's his instinct. Do you know what I'm saying here? It's his instinct that tells you who he is and what he's made of. And nobody ever again can say, oh, this guy's a wussy, or oh, this guy's no. This guy, this is what he's made of. And this is a guy who wants to fight for our country, fight for us. And when he says, and ironically, remember in the past, and I wish I had this audio, I'll have to have this on a drop, but remember in the past when he says, when they come after you, when they come after me, they're really coming after you. And he made a point at one point back in the day where he said that bullet is coming for you, and literally it happened. So do you have the audio where he talks about the Time magazine cover? We'll get to that, but take a break. I have to take a break. I apologize. If you haven't seen this Time magazine, if you can't see us on YouTube, they're just glorifying Kamala Harris. And it's quite beautiful, this cover of Time. I mean, they took some time with it. It's like a sketch. It's quite beautiful. And it says her moment. Where has this Kamala been all along? The new Kamala. And it's like, are you kidding me? But this is what the media is doing. So Trump talks about that last night. We'll get to that. We'll get to your calls. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
I believe he used to go as the Greater Chris on Twitter. He's now calling himself the Bachelor Chris.
Bachelor Chris, yeah.
He says crowd size means nothing. Biden had 6 people in a circle at rallies. Trump drew tens of thousands. Biden drew hundreds. Candidates and debates mean nothing. And that's why I'm saying this is why you cannot leave any stone unturned. I know people aren't going to do it. I'm just wasting my oxygen here. This is why you cannot wait until November 5th to vote. If you don't take advantage of September 16th in that 6-week window, don't tweet me. That's it. Don't tweet me. I don't want to hear from you.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Just dial pound law. That's all. Morgan & Morgan, America, and now the universe's largest injury law firm.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Get your laugh on with me, Chris Jericho, and the Talk is Jericho podcast. We've got Guns N' Roses Hall of Famer Duff McKagan and his joke of the week every Friday, plus regular visits from the hilarious Brad Williams and special appearances by everyone from Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias, Mark Maron, Dennis Miller, Cheech Marin, Kevin Nealon. If they're funny, they're on Talk is Jericho. So listen to and follow Talk is Jericho now on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
An excessive heat warning is in effect. Is your AC system struggling to keep your home cool? If you hear something funny, smell something burny, your AC is frozen or leaking water, or even feel warm air coming from your unit, it's time to call CNC. CNC Heating and Air Conditioning. Your local York certified comfort experts can make it a no-sweat summer for your entire household with one phone call. 0% financing options available. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit cc-hvac.com to request your estimate today.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
So your calls, we'll get to those in a moment, 855-839-1210. We know that the feds are investigating this alleged, this cyber attack. And there was a physical attack in, I want to say Virginia. I'll get to that, a break-in, a burglary. So just to recap really quick here, former President Donald Trump dropping these new details last night about his plans and the Trump campaign, Trump Force 47, the campaign plans to return to the scene of the attempted murder, the attempted assassination of Trump, returning to the crime scene where Corey Comparator was murdered, where Trump nearly died. I mean, that the honest to God's truth is, I really shudder to think about that. Imagine 1 month ago, somebody tries to kill you. Most people, that would shut you down. And somehow Trump is revved up by that. To me, his energy is inspirational. And do you notice, by the way, nobody talks about age anymore. Nobody dares talks about this guy has more energy than anybody I've ever seen. So this interview with Elon Musk, and during that interview with Elon Musk on X, Trump vows to return to Butler for a rally, a big rally in October, says he's going to finish his July 13th address that was cut short because of that assassination attempt at the Butler Farm Showgrounds. This was all during that big interview with Elon Musk. And a lot of people talk about Elon Musk with X, the owner of that. But if you think of before X, Elon Musk, he is the Thomas Edison. And in the media, he was a media darling. I'll just remember this because we have to remember this. He was a media darling because he's the Thomas Edison, the inventor of our time. And you think about Tesla. You think about his dedication to think about new ways and new inventions that, yes, make energy cheaper, more efficient, and to lessen the pollution. That's a good thing. I love that fact. He was a media darling before, of course, he came out and supported free speech. And I'll bring it to Philadelphia, and that is that Elon Musk, in many ways, does remind me of a younger, better-looking Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin was somebody, if you remember, an inventor. He was an inventor as well as somebody who owned publications and somebody who also obviously is known as a quote-unquote founding father right here in Philadelphia. And Ben Franklin, by the way, had a bunch of kids, and I don't know, you could make those maybe some personal analysis as well. But Ben Franklin understood that if you also control the media, that's important to think about democracy, First Amendment rights, and media. And Ben Franklin understood that aspect of democracy and why it's important to democracy to have a free press. Even though, by the way, I will point out to you, Ben Franklin, I don't want to go too far off because we want to get to some of this audio and get to your calls, 855-839-1210. Ben Franklin was the inventor of fake news. Did you know that?
Explain.
And if my husband, Larry Menti, is listening, I have to give Larry Bear credit because he did a whole commentary on this. So Ben Franklin created all of those pseudonyms. He also would put out fake news about his opponents politically. And I'll have to go into a whole thing with this because he put out fake news in opposition. He knew the strength of the media, and he would put out these phony newsletters, not under his name, but he would put out fake news to try to take people down or divert attention. Ben Franklin did that. I'll do a deep dive into it because it's too much for me to go into, but it's true, and so I will do a deep dive later. But as far as Trump, Republican presidential nominee, he did suffer that wounded ear, never complains about it, never talks about it. He hated the blood, which is consistent with Trump. Remember the whole thing about the blood? Remember Mika Brzezinski? She had a little work done, and he talked about Mika one time. That Trump hates blood. He's consistent in this regard. Remember, wasn't there a Megyn Kelly, I don't know, something about a blood reference? I don't know what. He hates blood. He hates it. He hates talking about it. But that's the only thing he's complained about, with how bloody the ear was. Because any head wound is going to have a lot of blood. So anyway, but he's never complained about it. You think about that for a moment. So he has vowed to dedicate the Butler rally in October to former fire chief Corey Comparator, who was just 50 years young, from Sarver, Butler County. and chief comparator, and he was by trade, he was, I believe, he was an engineer, worked for an engineering company, but he died while heroically and instinctively grabbing his family, his wife, and at least one of his daughters, if not both, but shielding them. They would have been struck and killed. And that is, everybody says that. So he saved their life, and he knew immediately, because these are gun people in Butler, right? And so he knew immediately this was gunfire. He knew that his wife and daughters were in danger, and he shields them and literally becomes that human shield, and he dies. And Trump has, do you notice how much Trump talks about him, by the way? It haunts Trump that this man, and I have no doubt that when Trump becomes president again, and he will, there will be something, I don't know if it's going to be a statue, I don't know what it'll, I promise you that there will be legislation, there will be monuments, but there's just no question in my mind how much Trump is touched by this American hero, witnessing that heroism right there. So that to me is amazing. So we'll get through it. We'll talk about what he said about the Time magazine cover for Kamala, and it really goes to the fact that Trump knows media very well from his years of working as a top rated. He had the show Apprentice for many years. It was 17 years, and not just any show. This was a #1 show on NBC News. So he knows television, he knows media very well, and so he gives some media analysis, which I think is telling. 855-839-1210. I got to go to Lou really quick because hey Lou, how are you? I know you're in Langhorne. Hey Lou.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks for calling.
Let me try to be you're quite welcome. Let me try to be succinct. First of all, Donald Trump, I'm glad he's doing this thing in Butler. We talked about before, yes, he needs glass. Absolutely, he needs glass. I want to see the local police force the, communication between the two for protection between the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Okay. Leave no stone unturned.
Guys.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, Lou. I appreciate you. I'm up against it. Thanks, Lou. I agree with Lou. Bulletproof glass, but I think more local guys because they hustled. And they were investigating, and I think we need to celebrate them as well. And obviously the federal law enforcement, initially, at least the managers were trying to throw those local guys under the bus. It's not going to work. We got to talk about your kitchen, your bathroom. Do you need that update? I know I told Larry yesterday, what if and he thinks, oh, here she goes. Kitchenmagic.com. Here's where you go. If you want to give that old, outdated kitchen, or maybe the bathroom. Now, maybe it's the foyer, especially the bathroom that's like the guest bathroom that's off the foyer. Mine has that dark wallpaper that I can't stand, but you want to give it a refresh. And the telltale, darker cupboards, the cupboards in the kitchen, you need to give my friends at Kitchen Magic a call. They are the ones. They've been transforming spaces quickly, beautifully, and affordably since 1979. From refacing, or what about custom cabinets? Or maybe you don't need the custom cabinets, maybe just refacing the ones you have. So you have some options here. The backsplash, the old one's got to go. What about the countertops? Telltale. Get rid of those counters from the 80s. Yes, you can get the kitchen you want. You're dreaming of it right now. And right now they're offering 12 months, no payments, no interest financing, plus 10% off your remodel. Just schedule a free in-home design consultation. Kitchenmagic.com. Kitchenmagic.com. 12 months, no payments, no interest financing, 10% off the remodel. Wow. Kitchenmagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
What happens when Washington liberals spend trillions of dollars? Just look around. Prices are way up. They pushed a bunch of reckless spending, and Senator Bob Casey voted for it. Now we're paying higher gas prices, higher grocery prices, and higher utility bills. Casey helped create this mess by voting with President Biden 98% of the time, including voting for trillions in wasteful spending. Instead of listening to the warnings, Senator Casey sided with the liberals, causing this inflation disaster. Casey voted to let illegals take your tax dollars. He voted to let illegals collect $500 million in COVID relief checks. It's more for illegals and less for us. Come on, Senator Casey. That's just not right. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. Fall is approaching, and you know what that means. Football season. It's time to get in on all the action early this season with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. Let's talk NFL future, shall we? How do we think the Birds are going to do this season? There's a ton of different player props like passing yards, touchdowns. Also, great team markets like to make the playoffs, win the division, and Super Bowl matchups. The Birds have to be at the top for all of these, and you can parlay together different picks for an even bigger payout. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. There's no better place to get ready for the football season than on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sports book and the official sports betting partner of the NFL. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg to sign up today. FanDuel.com/Greg. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT. 21 and over, present in PA. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue does not withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms of sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Don't miss Borgata's $1.5 million Summer Showdown. Now through August 31st, 1,500 winners will earn a share of $1.5 million. Plus, 2 lucky players will win a 2024 Ford Bronco or Jeep Rubicon. Earn entries for drawings held every Saturday, including 2 grand prize drawings on July 27th and August 31st. The $1.5 million Summer Showdown, only at Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Must be 21 or older. Players must be present to win. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere 1 day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
Hey, Ambler. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Follow us anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Headline, by the way, this morning is that the Kamala Harris campaign is criticizing Trump for serving, quote, self-obsessed rich guys. Well, she served plenty of self-obsessed rich guys herself in different ways over the years, so reportedly. So maybe she should be careful about her wording. But that was her line. Vice President Kamala Harris. Well, we look forward to the DNC next week. We'll be talking about that. Still no big interview with her. It's amazing that she gets the pass. But we have Hope Danoff in the house. Hope, first of all, I love the T-shirt. Jimmy Kelly, I know, has been at some of your events, and he brought me this awesome, it's a great T-shirt with bright red letters, Republicans with Hope. And Hope Danoff, thank you so much for joining me this morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Dawn. It's such a pleasure being with you today. Thank you so very much for having me back on.
Oh, the pleasure's always mine. So tell me, because we want everybody to know what's going on locally, and you're somebody locally. I'm getting admonished because I didn't place the shirt high enough. Let me put it up really quick here. Got it? If you're on
You're going to
YouTube,
look gorgeous in it.
Here it is. I love I live in T-shirts and yoga pants when I'm not here. And I do wear it. I still wear a suit to work, even though the guys tease me. All right, so tell me what's going on, because Hope, you are somebody who you're holding great events across the region, and you want people to get involved.
I do. What's happening is that what we're doing is that we have flag waving every 2 weeks at Walsh and the Boulevard from 11 to 1.
Okay.
We're really partnering with the Trump Force 47. We're also having Zoom meetings with people from communist China that I met at the polls. We've had one already with like 50 Chinese families. We're having another one in October, and they are registering Republican. I have 33 boxes of mail-in ballot registration forms, and I am giving them out. They're basically half gone now. Everyone that comes to my house, wherever I go, I give them out. I buy stamps that everyone can put these stamps on, because what I found when I worked with Operation Community One in North Philly, I was giving these ballots out, and they were going in the trash. So I actually walk people through how to do it with the stamp, and then I mail it in for them. We're working with the Black Conservative Federation, Americans for Prosperity, and we're supporting candidates like Neil Young, Kay Dugarry, Alfred Woodward, different people like that in helping them get elected. So really, what we're really doing is we're connecting people to really make a difference and letting them know, too, that we're Republican. This is what we stand for. Dawn, so many people, a lot of Republicans don't even vote. Like, I'll be making phone calls to Republicans to get them out to vote. They're like low voters. The other thing is that energizing the base and also educating people what Republicans stand for. Every opportunity, whether it's a guy that's fixing my boiler right now, someone that works with my son, every opportunity is a place to tell people what Republicans stand for. And in my world, I can't begin to tell you that 99.1%, you're always going to find the one is going to tell you that they're not going to be a Republican or vote Republican. But I really feel like there's a sea change happening in the inner city, out in the suburbs. People are afraid to say, I'm going to vote Republican. But that's what Republicans with Hope really stands for, is letting people know that we are here, we're proud to be American, and we're going to really make a difference this November.
And so tell me a little bit more, Hope, about families who are, they've immigrated to this country, and they're from China, obviously communist China. And so these are asylum seekers, or they already did that and went through the process of coming here legally. And so what are some of those conversations like because we don't talk about this a lot.
Yeah, well, the incredible thing, like Jim was at our last event. He was a fantastic DJ, and my great friend there who I met at the polls, Ying Jae, he wants me to call him Martin, I met his whole family, and I gave him a whole box of these mail-in ballot registrations. They really skew conservative, and they came here legally, but they don't know about the voting process. So my treasurer, we're a PAC political action committee in Pennsylvania, so my treasurer, Jerry, and we had a Zoom meeting with like 50 families. They like to keep very private, and we talk to them about what Republicans stand for and also how to vote, how to go through the voting process. And we're going to be doing that again in the first week of October. It's a wonderful thing. It was interesting when I met this beautiful person who was saying, I worked the polls for 12 hours, and we have all the Democrats on the other side, and they thought he was going to be Democrat. They attacked him as he walked in. He goes, no, I'm a Republican. And it was such my pleasure to walk him into the polls, and he voted Republican for the first time. From there became a conversation. I met his family, I met his relatives, and they skew conservative. They love the Republican values. And so that's what we're doing. We're registering them to vote Republican.
And so you're helping people to apply for mail-in ballots? Is that
Yeah, what it is that, well, we're telling them we're telling them about the voting process. Jerry and I are talking
educating
about
people?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, educating them about that. And then, because I don't want to say you have to vote Republican,
right.
but they love the Republican values. So the mail-in ballots, voter registration, telling them where to go to the polls and how to vote. They want to vote Republican because these are people that love the Republican values. They came from communist China. They want freedom. They don't like where the Democratic Party stands for. And that's what I'm finding in the inner cities, too, and out in Welsh and the Boulevard. It's incredible the support we get at Welsh and the Boulevard. We do flag waving, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, it's incredible. The first couple weeks we did it, we got like, beep, 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 beep. Now it's like after Trump, unfortunately, had that, that gunshot wound to his ear, it's like incredible amount of support. And we have flags. We give flags away. I give out stamps to make sure that these candidates, they can send out, postcards. We really want to make a difference. This is boots on the ground now. It's do or die now to November. And I am going I'm going to do everything I can to get Donald Trump elected. And also Dave McCormick. He's a terrific candidate as well.
And have you done any events with Dave McCormick?
I have.
Okay.
He came to my first event. He's a dear friend. He came to my first event when I was really just starting out this political action committee, Republicans with Hope. He came to my first potluck, April 10th. That's where, Anthony Dorenzo was, and we had Tom DeBello and all these candidates, David Winkler. And he came to my first event, and he didn't even know who I was, and we've become very, very dear friends. And he comes to almost everything, either him or one of his, Eric or Bruce or someone. Bruce came to my last event. It's really about having a coalition, having a positive coalition, a positive movement. That's what I call my grassroots movement, positive movement for positive change. It's do or die here. We have to make a difference. We have to get Donald Trump elected. We're not going to have a country if we don't. Inflation, I know that's a big thing for people, the borders. I mean, I can see what's happening. I have family members with a disability, and I see what's happening in our country, that these illegals are getting all this money. Food stamps, someone just told me $13,000 of food stamps one family gets when the homeless shelter in Norristown is closed, when the people with fentanyl are dying on our streets, when our vets don't even have homes to live in. But we're giving these people, just for votes and power, the opportunity to live in our great country, and they don't deserve it. Come here legally. I have personally, right now, my gardener, he's coming here legally from Ecuador. I've sponsored 2 families here. They're coming in the right way. And by the way, when they get a chance to vote, they're voting Republican.
About Dave McCormick, it always amazes me how on the left, and this is where the media is complicit, the media wants to talk about Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota, who, he was a combat veteran. You heard that, well, until we learned he actually was not a combat veteran. But they will never mention about Dave McCormick, his service. And by the way, somebody who was part of the first wave of our United States military troops sent into Iraq during the Gulf War in 1991, and his leadership. But he was, he is a combat veteran and somebody who served honorably for 5 years. You'll never hear anybody, or I never hear, at least, I don't know, maybe you have. But do you notice that? You don't hear about his combat, his service as a veteran.
I think early on his first, commercial was about that. Mm-hmm. But I think that it was about his wrestling career. He's a terrific candidate, and he's a terrific man. I absolutely adore that guy. So the point is that you have a choice, like you meaning we, in Pennsylvania. Are we going to vote for Bob Casey that has voted against Israel, has done nothing for this state? Or are we going to vote for somebody wonderful like Dave McCormick that is a business owner that created 2,000 jobs, that, like you said, is a vet, a Princeton grad, really smart. The point is that we have a choice today. Bob Casey has done nothing for this, but he has so much of the money. I have to tell you, Dawn, yesterday I got about 6 different pieces of mail from Democrats and nothing from Republicans.
Because they're worried.
To step it up. Yes.
I mean, even though Casey is still like 5 points ahead, I think they are worried about the Senate flipping, and about, if people come out for Trump, they're worried that down ticket. I do think they're worried at this point with the economy and everything. But, well,
I agree.
So tell us where we can find you, where can everybody find you and sign up to go to some of your upcoming events?
I think it's wonderful. I think go to Republicans with Hope, republicanswithhope.com to sign up and to get the mail, the registration so we can tell you what we're doing. But also follow me on Facebook, X, and Instagram because that's where the media finds me. It's been wonderful. I've been interviewed by the Inquirer twice and even the Economist. So it's really about getting out the word that we're Republicans, what we stand for. We stand for wonderful values. So republicanswithhope.com or Republicans with Hope on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Hope,
Correct.
thanks. Thank you, Hope. Thank you so much, and we appreciate all that you do. Hope Danoff and Republicans for Hope. I wanted to mention this as well, just a reminder. I don't know because we do know that Trump will be in Pennsylvania this weekend in Wilkes-Barre. So I know that the last time during that Butler, okay, Jimmy, I got it. Sorry, Jimmy's let me know some information. But I know that during that situation on July 13th, Dave McCormick was standing, I believe, about maybe 25 feet away from former President Trump when that shooting happened and when Fire Chief Corey Comparator was fatally shot and murdered by that wannabe assassin. So I don't know if McCormick will be at the rally in Pennsylvania this weekend, but I do imagine McCormick will be there when Trump is back at the Butler Farm Grounds, and that's going to be in October. So as soon as we know the details, we'll give that to you because we definitely all want to be there for sure. And you know where else you want to be? Taking maybe your final summer road trip, whether it's, the weekends down the shore, or maybe you have a trip planned leading up to Labor Day weekend, but summer is still here officially, and there's no time like the present to get back out on the roads. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're always going to help you find that luxury vehicle you've been eyeing. Piazza has just thousands of new as well as certified pre-owned vehicles from brands such as Mercedes-Benz, Land Rover, Jaguar, Maserati. You notice my voice when I just say Maserati. Oh, these are gorgeous vehicles. BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, and so much more. Just visit them at piazzapremiumautomobiles.com. You can always stop by one of their many dealerships across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Delaware. PIAZZA, piazzapremiumautomobiles.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
We have a man who's a warrior, a great military person. Dave McCormick is a seventh-generation Pennsylvanian who grew up in Bloomsburg, went to West Point, and earned a Bronze Star for his service in the First Gulf War. Dave went on to an outstanding career in business, and now he's fighting for the people of this Commonwealth, and he loves this Commonwealth.
Conservative Dave McCormick.
We need new leadership. We need a new president in the White House that's going to get our country back on track. We need a new majority in the Senate that's going to be able to take our country in the right direction.
Dave will vote to secure your borders, stand up to China, unleash incredible amounts of Pennsylvania energy, and he wants to stop Bidenflation. David McCormick, you have my total support and my total endorsement, and you got to win. Dave McCormick.
I'm Dave McCormick, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Dave McCormick. www.davemccormickpa.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Free parking at SEPTA stations is over in a little more than a month. There's a competition with Philadelphia teens to create the best anti-gun violence social media campaigns. And a Temple professor's novel was one of 14 that made former President Barack Obama's summer reading list.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hi, this is Joe Mederchik, PNC Bank Regional President. As a bank, we pride ourselves on being boring. But the truth is we couldn't be more excited to serve the dynamic greater Philadelphia community. For nearly 160 years, we've quietly toiled away to deliver brilliant results for our equally brilliant clients. We have dedicated PNC teams throughout the local area, all ready to do the boring work to help you unlock your own brilliance. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, Southampton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
So much developing. I didn't even get fully into that story in Montgomery County, but I'll just say this. In Montgomery County, they're spending your tax dollars, which, by the way, your taxes just went up again, property taxes and so on free female supply. Well, they can't even say female supplies. On free supplies, they're calling it period poverty because nobody can afford tampons and whatnot, which are very expensive. And the I don't know if they have the wings; those are really expensive. But they're literally providing them now in all county facilities for free. I don't know. To me, I just think, not for nothing, but if it's tax dollars, and I bet you I'll have to see now for myself. I'll have to do a little of my own investigation, but I wonder if they're putting them in both bathrooms, the men's and women's, which is ridiculous. But that's the latest headline for Montgomery, what they're spending the tax dollars on. Give me a break. 855-839-1210. Don in Franconia. Hey, Don.
Hey, Don, how are you doing today?
Good.
Hey, can you give me about 25 seconds to say something, and then we can talk about it?
You got it.
All right. Joe Biden got 15 million primary votes, which certainly isn't chopped liver. And his reward for that is he got knives stuck in his back by both Barack and Nancy. And now they support Kamala because she obviously has more energy, and you cannot say anything bad about her as vice president because she never did anything in that capacity. So here we are with Kamala masquerading as a Democratic savior, because up to now, all the euphoria is over hers because she has been compared to Slow Joe. However, all that excitement will evaporate when she finally debates head-to-head with Donald Trump.
Yep.
And most of her staff cannot stand her, and Donald Trump will expose that sentiment for all of us to see. I will have my popcorn and my bottled water ready for the debate as I sit in my favorite seat. But my only concern is that when the debate is over, some people will say that it was just another case of a big man picking on a woman, kind of like how the women's Olympic boxing turned out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, Don, thank you so much. I think I think that you're right that the media is, putting her on this pedestal. She's getting all this glowing, friendly media coverage that is just, it's ridiculous. But when they're putting her on this pedestal, as they are, they're also setting her up for an even bigger fall. Because when she opens up her mouth and she starts campaigning, we know that she traditionally will goof up, or she'll double down on her progressive policies that she has supported. And we know what she stands for because she just ran for president not so long ago. So we can't say that strongly enough, and we need to all of us, every one of us, not just if you work in the media, not if you are on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, but I'm talking about everybody. We need to re-air all of her clips of what she believes in. Because when you look at what she really believes in, she is far left of center, far left and progressive, far left of Joe Biden, quite frankly. By the way, I thought it was ironic that at some of her events where she's campaigning, yes, she talks about voter ID laws. And this is, there's some media reporting on this, but, they're requiring that people show ID to show actual ID to get into her rallies or any of her events. And so isn't that rich that while she requires that you show identification to get into her rally or her events, she does not believe in these voter ID citizenship laws that have been proposed. So there it is. I mean, rules for thee, not for me, as Zeoli always says. All right, we've got Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith. She's around the corner, so we'll talk about all things with law enforcement. We'll get into, because today we are at 1 month ago, what happened with Donald J. Trump here in Pennsylvania 1 month ago when the attempt was made on his life. We'll also talk about other issues involving law enforcement and some of these vigilantes who are acting out, trying to protect their kids. We'll get into all of it. Local police and law enforcement news here in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So that's right around the corner. Appreciate you being here on this beautiful Tuesday. Be right back.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyOutRealEstate.com. This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. Did you know we are having a full one-day event on August 17th? It's called the Money Hacks event. You want to come to this event and you will learn how to become your own bank, how to invest in real estate without any money. You will learn the stock market and you will learn how to build credit for cash-flowing assets, and so much more. It's a full day packed with information. Use the code 1210, that's 1210, to get a 50% discount on the ticket. Go to 4mmw.com, that's 4mmw.com, and register today.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano for my friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. His state-of-the-art facility makes your dentistry as easy as can be. Recently had a permanent tooth put in, and you know how it is. In the past, you bite down, it's too high, it's always too high. The back and forth getting it just right. Well, not this time. With Dr. Bentz, it fit perfectly the first time. Call the Bentz Dental Group now, 610-272-6949. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, 610-272-6949.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR are so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Still waiting for details on when exactly the Trump campaign returns to Pennsylvania in Butler at the Butler Farm Show. But I will mention to you that Trump is heading to PA for a biggity big rally. That's this Saturday, and you can sign up. All you have to do is go online, put your name in there and your info if you want to sign up. I think the doors open at 4 p.m. It's Wilkes-Barre. By the way, Elon Musk has put out the X app downloads reaching an all-time high. And this as obviously on X after his interview with Trump. He just put this out just like 3 or 4 minutes ago. So Elon Musk very pleased with X. News number 1 and the top overall, it's the top 2 app, he says, but for news, number 1. So that one, downloads reach an all-time high. Elon Musk putting that out there as he's clearly very proud of that one. All right, let's talk about, do we have Betsy? Or not till 15 after? So Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith, she's going to join me at 11:15, I should say. So we'll watch that one very carefully. Did you find, by the way, the Trump bite audio with Trump talking about the Kamala and the Time magazine?
She's a beautiful woman.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, Jimmy, I thought Jimmy was fixing his eye makeup. He was looking at his phone, just teasing.
And actually, she looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania. She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's
Kamala.
a beautiful woman, so we'll leave it at that, right?
So what he's specifically referring to when he says that is that what she looks like on this Time magazine cover. I know we had shown it earlier, but it's quite a beautiful piece of art. They spent a lot of time on this. And so it's Kamala Harris as you've never seen her before. But he discussed Vice President Kamala Harris several times throughout the interview last night with Musk. There was, when he talks about the Time cover, and that's when you heard him say, they're portraying her as basically you would think she was the most beautiful, sort of iconic actress ever to live. And he's right in the fact that usually they'll use a photograph. In this, they had their art department working overtime as they really pay tribute to her, and then says she looks like Melania. She has the highlights in her hair and the whole thing. But acknowledges she's a beautiful woman. That's nice that he's saying she's a beautiful woman. That's very nice, and it's appropriate. It's fine. Nothing more. What he's referring to is how they are just gushing over Kamala Harris. I will say, as you look at I looked at the online version of this, it's a long form article, and they're talking about Kamala Harris. I will say this. They start out by, where has this Kamala Harris been all along? For years, Democratic officials questioned her political chops. Pundits mocked her word salads, and her polling suggested limited appeal. Her performance in the 2020 presidential primary was wooden, and her turn as Biden's number 2 did little to inspire confidence. Even this summer, as party insiders chattered about possible replacements for Biden to step aside, it was explicit. Some of the major donors that she cannot win. So they're quoting that, but then they say basically, where have you been all my life? They do acknowledge in the article that she may still be the underdog. Trump has arguably the clearer path to 270 electoral votes and an edge on the issues, you think? And that voters say these issues are the most important to them. So they acknowledge all of that. They acknowledge Harris will have to answer for the Biden administration's record, including inflation, border security. So to their credit, Time is acknowledging all of that. They also acknowledge that Harris has less than 90 days to prove she can convert the momentum of her successful launch into a tough, smart operation capable of beating a former president with a dedicated base of support and a knack for commanding the stage. They do go on to acknowledge as well that early on, as a Veep, she had a real disaster. And they acknowledge all of that. What I will say to this is that most people, this is a very long article, most people are not going to read it. So as it goes viral, more people look at the image, and Trump knows that. And that's why he's talking about it. Because he's calling out the media. And have they ever created or spent that kind of time on a Republican, especially him? No. But, at least in the article, they do the right thing, which is go through talking about the fact that, you think about Israel's, defense against Hamas and terrorism, and right now Israel bracing, and that this attack is imminent, by the way. The fact also that we have an imminent attack on Israel days before the Democrats go to their convention in Chicago should be lost on no one, right? The timing of this attack by reportedly Iran and terrorists attacking Israel in a big way, and we're hearing now this is imminent, and we're hearing now, as I reported to you yesterday, that the USS Abraham Lincoln, as well as, we have many of our military troops rushing to the Middle East right now in defense of Israel. And so the fact that this terror attack on Israel looms, and it's going to happen within days of the DNC, what a nightmare for them. Because it will certainly overshadow, and they have to react to it. And Biden has to come out and react to it. It's not a good look. And let us not forget that Biden, and in particular Harris, blew off the Israeli prime minister when he was here for a visit. And that was reprehensible. I don't care what anybody says. I will watch for what at the end of the day, the Jewish vote. But I believe that Kamala Harris will regret her stance on all of this and her avoidance of the opportunity to support Israel 100%, which she needs to do. She needed to do. It's too late for that. And I predict that, and nobody's really talking about this because nobody's seen this, but I predict that the Jewish vote will cost her and cost the Democrats in this election. Because if you think about the level of anti-Semitism that we've seen, we have not experienced this in our nation. And I think that it's not lost on Americans or American Jews in particular. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. Let me know when I have to break, because I know we have to get to Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith, and you want to hear what she has to say. One of the lines in this Time magazine article, or Time Online, whatever they're going to call it, time.com, it says, even if Washington was taken by surprise, the energetic fighter of the past 2 weeks matches the Harris whom allies say they've known for years. So she has this momentum, this energy, and that's the talking point as we've seen her. Let me tell you something. This woman is a disaster. And look at her policies. Look at when she ran for president the last time around, and I don't want to talk. This whole talking point that Republicans have that, well, she never really got a vote. It doesn't matter. It's a moot point. She's her party's endorsing her. She's the candidate. She's the one to beat. So I'm not going to go into that whole mantra, but I simply think look at her actions, look at her policies, and look at her actions, and look at her political career. And that tells you who she is. Boom. 855-839-1210. We have, is this Joan? Hey, Joan.
Yes. Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. I really agree with everything you just said. She is a disaster. And that being said, with everything you just said and what you guys were talking about on Kale and Company this morning, I really feel that the people who are closest to Trump need to really get to him and say, stick to the policies. Don't let her get into your psyche, because I feel like he's been doing that over the past week or so, especially with this whole deal about no tax on tips, and all of a sudden she comes up with it. Her people that are handling her, and she's only talking with teleprompters right now, they are good at getting into his psyche, and that's what they're doing with that. So all of this is absolutely true about her, and if people really study what she's all about, they wouldn't be voting for her. And especially, it does pain me that Jewish people are still supporting her, because I tell my Jewish friends, that I speak to that, they are all in agreement with me. They are not supporting her. But that was my main point, was I hope that the people that are closest to Trump would say to him, don't let her get into your psyche. He's letting that happen. And he just has to keep, JD is a great backup person for him. He really is. He's very, very well spoken. I enjoy him, and he has to keep talking back over them when they talk over him, because I saw both interviews, not in length, but I saw clips of him and Jonathan Karl and Dana Bash, and it's what they do. So those were my points, and I agree with what you're saying about her. She's a very dangerous woman, and I'm nervous to death. I just turned 70 last week, and I'm very nervous about where this country's going, and it breaks my heart. It really does.
Well, Joan, first of all, happy birthday. 6970 is the new 4950. There it is, right?
Yes, it is. I'm not feeling it. I can't even say the word yet. It's a struggle, but I adore you guys, and I've been to events that you've been at, Dawn, and you're wonderful. So maybe you're close to Trump. I don't know, but or you can get the word down to Zioli, and
yes,
he has it. Trump just does to stay the path.
This is true.
Stay the path.
Well, thank you, Joan.
Thanks for listening. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you for sure, Joan. Yeah, I think that, and I have to take a break because we have to get to Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith, but I do believe that one of the issues with Trump is that he wants to create a contrasting image between Biden or Kamala Harris, that he's willing to hold a news conference and take questions for as long as needed, that he's sitting down with Elon Musk. I would simply say, you know what, everything in life is time limited. Let's limit it. I mean, one of the reasons that these J.D. Vance interviews are great is that they're pretty much limiting them to 15 to 17 minutes. And even within the Trump interviews, one suggestion I might have is maybe do this. If he's going to have a long-form interview with someone like Elon Musk, if he does that again, why not do by topic? Because this is also good. It plays well because it makes it easier to segment it and put it out on social media. So why not say, hey, we're going to spend 7 minutes, or pick the number. We're going to spend 7 minutes. We're going to talk about the economy. We're going to spend 6 to 7 minutes, whatever that number is, put the timer on, and that is respectful of people's time as well. So that's how I would say they need a producer. Speaking of which, Henry's like, Dawn, Henry just said, Dawn, got to go to commercial so that we can get to Sergeant Betsy Brant. See, they need Henry Machette. Not that you can steal him, because we still haven't replaced Willie Anthony. So don't think about that, Elon or Trump. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano with a big update on our huge politics and pints with Donald Trump Jr. We had to move the date to Thursday, September 12th. We'll talk the election, all things Trump, 2 days after the next scheduled presidential debate. Think about that. Politics and pints with Donald Trump Jr., now September 12th, Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. All the ticket details and everything else at 1210WPHT.com. Be there September 12th.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Kids go hard. Live without boundaries. Play with no fear. And enjoy every opportunity. How they feel tomorrow starts today. Keep them on their toes with proactive steps to be well. Looking out for their total health and wellness includes keeping them up to date on preventative immunizations, allowing them to be their best self every day. Talk to your pediatrician about a vaccine schedule that works for you.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Let me tell you about my buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria, the dental implant master. Implant dentistry is an art form, and as one of South Jersey's top implant dentists, Dr. Mike gives you the self-confidence boost you deserve. Schedule your free implant consultation today. Dr. Veneria's office exceeds CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control with centralized UV sterilization of airflow to ensure your safety. Locations right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, 856-786-2020 or veneriadental.com.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
So let's get to it. Sergeant Betsy Brentner Smith, National Police Association, is in the house. So much to talk about today. Good morning, Betsy.
Hey, good morning, Dawn.
Sorry, we're running a little late there this morning, so I apologize. We've had so much breaking and so much going on today. And we want to get to all of it. Just your reaction, if we can start out with this. It's hard to believe in our news cycle of today that 1 month ago today in Pennsylvania, in Butler, we had an assassination attempt of former President Trump. We tragically learned that, in fact, a real hero dad and local fire chief engineer, Corey Comparator, was murdered in that assassination attempt. And then we've learned so much more as far as the fallout. And Betsy, we've been airing all of the different videos and audio that have been released and body cam just showing the local law enforcement, their reactions, but just your overall reaction as we think about what happened 1 month ago today.
Well, first I want to say, Don, that 1 month ago today, and a lot of the media is trying to bury this, and yet we're still talking about January 6th. But moving forward, as a local law enforcement officer, one who has sat in those meetings with the Secret Service, who has been on those types of details, I have such a visceral reaction every time I see new body camera, because I feel the frustration and the anger that those local cops feel, especially the one, who says, I effing told them they needed to have somebody here, they needed to have somebody there. And it sounds like not a failure of the boots on the ground, Secret Service. Obviously, President Trump's immediate team did a great job, but the failure of leadership all the way from the former director on down. And let me just add that we're so grateful, and the National Police Association is grateful, that local law enforcement has been vindicated, because I think we forget that about a month ago, the Secret Service was saying, wow, it was all those guys. It was the Butler and Butler County. And then we were hearing within 24 hours that a local police officer encountered the shooter before he shot and he ran away. We now know that's not true either. So I feel anger, frustration, but also vindication.
Yeah, and so I think it's interesting, just a reminder that you've been part of those conversations, and in your career as somebody who has worked at pretty much every level, right? I mean, local law enforcement, working up the ranks, and now as an educator. So you can zoom in and zoom out on this with all of your experience, whether it's local, whether it's national, and then dealing between different agencies, such as a local law enforcement agency all the way up to the Secret Service or a federal agency. And so what kind of coordination, I guess, my question is, what kind of meetings, communication, coordination should have happened that apparently did not?
Well, absolutely. Sometimes we know, 6 months in advance that a president or a vice president, some kind of protectee candidate is coming. Sometimes we only have a week or two notice. This was a very short notice, as is typical in campaign rallies. And but those meetings, because remember, it's not just the Secret Service coming from Washington, D.C. They have offices everywhere. They were also getting assistance, they have told us, from other Department of Homeland Security agents. And so these meetings that take place, I mean, they use everything from drone technology to, of course, aerial photographs. And the reason that you bring in local law enforcement, one, is because you need the personnel, but two, they know the ins and outs. They know the people in the area. They know the flora and fauna, if you will, and that fairgrounds was not a difficult place to secure. I think that's one of the reasons I would guess it was chosen, because it's pretty easy to secure that area, but you got to have somebody on each roof. So when a local law enforcement officer is sitting there saying, hey you guys from the federal government, we think you need to have somebody up here, and they get blown off, that starts a terrible cycle of frustration that obviously carried over into what we saw from the body-worn camera. And thank God we have it.
Yes. And part of this is, and I should say, you are someone, as a 29-year law enforcement veteran, and you train officers from around the world. And so I love hearing this from you and your take on this, and especially I think you said something that even locally in Pennsylvania and in Butler, the community is outraged because they are standing behind their law enforcement officers. And they've been pretty vocal on social media to say, hey, our guys may very well have knocked this guy, this wannabe assassin, maybe forced him to rush his shot. And so now there's this, us and them attitude among, I think, the local community saying, hey, you guys at the federal level, don't throw our guys under the bus because you messed up. I mean, with something like that, just your reaction, first of all, to the community members, what you would say to them, and as far as them really standing behind their local law enforcement.
Absolutely. I love that the community members in the Butler County area have really stood behind their cops. And I've had other media ask me, well, were these guys just some local jamokes, country boy kind of cops? And I'm like, heck no. You need to look at them and their equipment and their training and know about them. These were well-trained, well-prepared police officers. Sometimes these regional SWAT teams are much better trained than the larger city SWAT teams. And these were a real bunch of dedicated people, and I love that their community loves them, and I hate that they've had to go through this. But, Don, for the last about 10 years, we have seen this chipping away at federal law enforcement leadership. It started in the Obama administration due to, we didn't call it this 10 years ago, but diversity, equity, and inclusion, where it was more important that what someone looked like than it was their leadership skills. The boots on the ground cops in the Secret Service and other Department of Homeland Security personnel, generally speaking, are good cops. I've trained a lot of them and continue to do so. But they have leadership issues that are not their fault, but you can just imagine how frustrating it must be to work for people who are more worried about diversity than they are the end product. Let's remember, 10 years ago, we had a new director of the Secret Service because, there were some bad things happening. And what happened after she took over? We had all the fence jumping and all of that. And so this is not a one-off. This is a leadership problem, and it needs to be dealt with. I don't know if the Biden administration is ever going to really deal with it.
Yeah, I always say to people that it's an insult to women more so than anybody. In other words, when they do this, right? And I think you're somebody as an individual in law enforcement. You're somebody, Betsy. You paid your dues, and it's an insult to somebody like you when they hire people who maybe because they're female or because of whatever boxes they check, that suddenly they elevate them to a job that they're actually not ready for.
No, in fact, the Women in Federal Law Enforcement Conference is just ending. I've taught there many times. I've got a bunch of friends there. I know so many badass women in the federal law enforcement. And, of course, this was frustrating to all of us. We were all talking when this whole thing started, like, oh, my God. And I always love to say I was hired to be a cop not because I was a woman, but in spite of. And of course we want women in law enforcement, but we want qualified women, qualified people of all, races, gender, whatever. But you should not be elevated just because, either because of your gender or sexual orientation or any of that, because that's an issue here. And also you shouldn't be elevated because of whose protective detail you're on. And I think that's one of the problems with Kim Cheadle. She was on Jill Biden's detail, and we've been told that Jill Biden said, hey, she needs to be a part of it. She needs to be the director. That shouldn't happen. Especially, this is law enforcement. This is high-level law enforcement. DEI should have no part of this.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, and I should point out that Secret Service, they released that statement. Oh, we're always appreciative because those body cam videos that they released locally, and some of them from Butler, some of them Pennsylvania State Police. But I'll be curious, they'll bury, like you said, they're going to bury all of this as far as the findings. And then unfortunately, it does fuel this question of whether or not that 20-year-old really was capable of carrying this out and acted alone. And so you have all of these conspiracy theories. That's not good either. No,
it is. Federal law enforcement has taken a real hit in the last, 5 to 6 years as far as, people questioning their ethics and things like that. And that's why, there really needs to be some changes in leadership. There needs to be some house cleaning so that we can restore these organizations, and so they can do, and it's not just the political, but the Larry Nassar investigation that was really botched by the FBI. There's so many different cases, and of course, very often when we have these active shooter situations, especially a guy like Thomas Crook, he's the typical young white male, kind of a loner, et cetera, et cetera. And we're often hearing in these active shooter cases, although not with Thomas Crooks, but where they say, oh, yeah, this guy was on a radar, that guy was on a radar. Well, what did you do about it? Nothing. There needs to be some procedural changes there, and we need to restore federal law enforcement because there are, most of them are super great people and good at their job. Let's give them the leadership that they deserve.
Amen. What's your take as far as looking at the defund the police movement, the fallout from it? And I'd seen this morning, there was another article about Kamala Harris and her husband, how they had donated to nonprofits that support defunding the police. Where do you think we are in this country as far as the so-called defund the police movement? Is it officially dead?
I think it's on life support, but we've got to look at what happened this weekend in Ferguson, Missouri. There were protests, inexplicable protests, quite frankly, because of the 10-year anniversary of the death of Michael Brown, who was illegally killed by a police officer after he committed a strong-arm robbery, and he was trying to disarm that police officer. And we have an officer right now, Officer Travis Brown, is in the hospital fighting for his life with a traumatic brain injury. He was a fairly new Ferguson police officer, but he'd been with the county for over a decade. His father was a police officer. He is African-American, and he joined the Ferguson Police Department to try and make a difference. And he got rushed by protesters and badly injured. There were 2 more officers injured. And like the chief said, what are we protesting? And, the chief, also black, said, look, we did everything the activists asked us to do. We hired more black police officers. We have body-worn camera. We have implicit bias training, on and on and on and on and on. So the defund the police movement, again, is just this little group of race-baiting activists who want to keep it alive. I think most people just want more cops in their neighborhood and more cops on their police department. But when you look at the policies of Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, and yes, Joe Biden, who is still our president, you look at their, not them, but you look at their policies, they are not supporters of law enforcement. They are not supporters of law and order. And the American public has got to stop buying this, remaking of these people and look at their track records. Tim Walz let the city of Minneapolis burn down. His wife loved the smell of burning tires.
Yeah, that was weird.
And it's just they're creepy anti-law enforcement, anti-law and order people. And when you throw in the open borders there and all the gangs that are coming up and the fentanyl and the human trafficking, people need to wake up and stop looking at TikTok and learn the real facts.
Yeah, and what's amazing to me when you talk about, Michael Brown and Officer Darren Wilson, I didn't realize until we're coming up on this 10-year anniversary that as recent as 2020, just a few years ago, basically, the prosecutor there spent months trying to review the case with, trying to come up with some charge against Officer Wilson for manslaughter or murder. But then even he dropped that finally. That was just happening in 2020. It's amazing.
Well, and exactly. Because he wanted to unseat Cori Bush, the representative there, which he did in the primary, but that was one of his political talking points, if you will. And if you can imagine Darren Wilson, I don't think most people know this, Darren Wilson's wife was also a police officer. He lost his career, she lost her career, and just like you said, as soon as a few years ago, he was still having to deal with this in a completely justified police shooting because the media, we've all got to go back and remember. And I was talking to some young people in their 20s over the weekend, and they had to literally look up what the Michael Brown shooting was because we were telling them about it. And as they read, they were like, wow, this is crazy. But remember, for example, CNN, all their anchors sitting there, hands up, don't shoot. All of that was a lie. The whole thing was a lie. And yet we go back, and this was the beginning of our conversation. This all went back to what? Police leadership. That was one of the problems in Ferguson, was weak police leadership didn't handle this situation properly and let it get away from them. If they'd have told the truth right away, said what happened, and said, hey, you know what? You don't get to disarm our cops, so we had to kill this 18-year-old gangbanger, which is what he was.
Yeah.
It's leadership.
Yes. Amen. Well, leadership, which is something that you provide, Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith, National Police Association, which we always say this is a nonprofit supporting law enforcement officers, including such as the officers who've been persecuted here in Philadelphia and across the country. So
absolutely.
We just always want to remind you that you can donate. National Police Association, Betsy Brantner Smith, thank you so much once again.
Thanks, Dawn. I appreciate it. I can't wait until we talk the next time.
Back at you. So National Police Association, remember, you can always go to them. They have great articles, and you can find out what they're doing, again, locally or on a regional or on a national basis, and they have some great information for you, and if you want to donate too. Got to take a quick break. Be right back.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
We are locked into a dry and pleasant weather pattern through the rest of the week. Mixture of sun and clouds today with a high temperature below average at 83. Tonight, mostly clear, comfortable, low mid-60s for the city, cooler in the suburbs. And Wednesday, sunshine and clouds a bit warmer with a high 86.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Harry, if you watch any more of those stupid financial shows, I'm filing for divorce.
How am I going to keep up with our retirement accounts?
At JML Financial Group, we want you watching your grandkids playing soccer and sunsets in Hawaii, not the latest rumor of a market crash. Surprisingly, with proper income planning, the stock market shouldn't even be a concern. The money came in every 2 weeks while you worked. It should be the same in your retirement years. Let us show you how. Call JML Financial Group today at 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. So, when your neighbor's sunbathing in the front yard,
Harry, you're an idiot. Get away from the window.
keep your eyes focused where they should be, on enjoying your retirement. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you constantly searching for an extra energy boost? As we age, our bodies produce less of the natural fuel needed to combat fatigue. Discover Rescue Orosine. From Rescue Natural Supplements, Rescue Orosine helps enhance energy production at the cellular level, supports a healthy heart, and maintains optimal blood pressure. Plus, right now, our exclusive radio listeners can take advantage of a special offer. Buy one bottle of Orosine, get another completely free. All that you have to do is use the code FUEL when placing your order. To place an order, visit res-q.com or call 800-26-ALIVE. Again, that's 800-262-5483. Speak with a knowledgeable rescue product consultant. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Remember, use that code FUEL at checkout. Again, mention the code FUEL when you call or use it at res-q.com to get that second bottle of energy-boosting Rescue Orosine totally free.
Do you know your numbers? What numbers? Your heart health numbers.
your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, and your body mass index. They're important, so ask your doctor. Learn your numbers, and if something doesn't seem right with them, see a Deborah specialist at one of our offices throughout South Jersey. After all, when it's your heart, you don't take chances. Find a specialist near you at demanddeborah.org.
For some jobs around the house, it's okay to do it yourself. For others, not so much. Like your water heater. Replacing a water heater should only be done by a plumbing professional who can provide a safe installation for you and your family. For a long-lasting, reliable water heater, ask your pro about Bradford White. How you heat your water matters, and Bradford White water heaters are built to be the best for years of dependable service. To learn more and find an installation pro near you, visit BradfordWhite.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Hey, Clementon. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
Looking at locally, nationally, there's so much developing. And as well, thinking about the tensions rising with not if, but when. When will the terrorists strike in the Middle East as that situation escalates right before the DNC, which takes place next week in Chicago? We've been talking a lot this morning since 6 a.m. with Kale and Company, talking about the Trump-Elon Musk interview. Elon Musk putting out there how many downloads, and very happy with the numbers and all of that. But let's get to some other local stories. And since earlier we had Hope Danoff bring up her good friend, who is Dave McCormick, military combat veteran, West Point, impressive guy, grew up here in Pennsylvania, even though they really give him a hard time that he has a home he has many homes, he's a rich guy, but he started out certainly with his service in the military, serving honorably in Iraq for our nation, and went on to work in the financial sector and as a business owner and that sort of thing. So he's not a political career politician by any measure, and he's running against somebody who is a career politician. That's all Bob Casey Jr. knows. I mean, his dad, certainly may have been probably one of, if not the last of the great ones of a generation. That was his dad, who was Casey Sr., who was somebody who was the last pro-life Democrat, and they ripped him off the stage, wouldn't let him speak, because that's what the Democrats do. They shut down any diversity in truth. But you wanted to get to some audio here, Henry Machette, of talking about McCormick v. Casey. So take me through. You didn't? Oh, I thought you had something with.
No, I was just saying it's in the show.
Oh, it was in the show. I thought you had audio.
No.
All right. So what are you talking about? Sorry.
Here, let me pull that up real quick.
All right. Sorry, I thought you had something on the cut sheet. You had some good. I mean, I know that they put out audio of these individuals giving a speech, maybe a fundraising speech sometime, and I love those because it tells you where somebody really is. Again, with Casey, I know that he was at the Kamala rally here in Philadelphia along with Mayor Sherrell Parker and that sort of thing, but I don't see many places where Casey is doing these long form, taking questions from the media or talking about his policy. Do you ever notice that? And so there's not this opportunity for confrontation or questioning some of his policies. The bottom line on Casey is he has been, look at his record, he has been a rubber stamp for the Biden administration and a rubber stamp for Bidenomics. So if you think that you're better off, if you are better off than you were 4 years ago, then yeah, sure, stick with Casey. How's that working for you in this Bidenomics economy? And Henry, also, you had found this poll, if I'm not mistaken. You had found a poll that indicated that both Democrats and Republicans thought, a little advice, not for nothing, but maybe advising the Harris campaign, maybe Bidenomics is not such a good thing. We have all those wonderful, just delicious audio clips of Kamala Harris talking about, Bidenomics. She used to love it. You don't hear that word coming from her mouth anymore because it's a disaster. But what was that poll? Who put out that poll?
Yeah, so Reason.com put out the poll that 60% of voters want Kamala Harris to abandon Bidenomics. And that's, a lot of people from both sides of the aisle. Obviously people are feeling the pain in their wallets. So of the respondents, 45% leaned Democrat, while 41% leaned Republican. So of that group, 60% says no. We need some change on the economic front.
And the other one was, I know that the other one was that Senator Casey, who's a Democrat, who's a longtime incumbent here in Pennsylvania, votes, if he's a rubber stamp for Biden and Bidenomics. But have you seen those negative ads where Casey is claiming that McCormick, as a financial guy, invested, or basically he's alleging that McCormick somehow fueled the fentanyl crisis, but in fact, this is a New York Post article that Henry had found that said, Bob Casey actually owns stock in Human Well himself and has a stake in this so-called Chinese fentanyl maker. So that was the report from the New York Post. There's another report out with, and I sent you the audio. I don't know if this is specifically Tulsi Gabbard talking about this, but it was old. I know they always make it look like it's fresh audio.
Yeah, it's only just a voiceover.
All right. So this is, Tulsi Gabbard, I know, is speaking out. I don't know if Zeoli did an interview with her. So I know that Tulsi Gabbard loves Zeoli. I don't know if you noticed that, but she's on with him all the time. But these are lawmakers actually in Hawaii, where she's obviously born and raised in Hawaii, and they are furious that the former Congresswoman, Tulsi Gabbard, as well as military veteran who served, that she was actually placed on the terror watch list. Now, that's just a sin that they would do this. And this is the nasty kind of persecution that this administration, I'll just blame them overall. But the fact, that's just nasty to put her on an actual terror watch list. And this was, who said it first? Wasn't it Hillary Clinton who claimed that she was a terrorist? Wasn't it Hillary at some point? Hillary hates her. But it's a sin. Whoever did that, that's terrible. But they are demanding that they take her off yet. And it's on the TSA list. It somehow
said she's included in the Quiet Skies program, which monitors elevated risks to aviation security. So I don't know. Tulsi Gabbard, bad plane
That's
ride.
A sin.
Can't ride planes.
That's a sin, right? This wins this really, of all of the, when I say it's a sin, this is the top sin. This is serious.
Yeah.
This is a cardinal sin. To put Tulsi,
what's the point?
A military veteran, and to put her on the terror watch list. Give me a break. But that's, hey, persecution. That's what this DOJ, when this Biden administration, when they fail to stifle you, they will stoop to every new low to try to stifle you. So in this way, Tulsi Gabbard, I'm glad that she's speaking out about it. I'm glad that people in Honolulu and Hawaii their news is filled with this. It's going viral. Good. We all need to push back against this type of persecution, which, by the way, this is like some third world country would do, right? And this is what they're doing to Tulsi. It's not acceptable, Joe Biden. It's not acceptable, Harris Biden administration. Shame on you, the the official shame. We need the Game of Thrones. All right, I got to take a break. Be right back.
Get ready for Phillies baseball.
Swung on, hit high in the air, left field. Verdugo going back to the track, at the wall, looking up, it's gone!
This Thursday, the Phils host the Washington Nationals at Citizens Bank Park, and you'll hear them here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Our swings and rips it into right. There's a base hit past the diving Turner. The Phillies, with a 4-run frame, now lead it 5-0.
Phillies baseball, Thursday night at 6:05 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Football season is approaching. It's time to get in on the action early this season with FanDuel. They have all your favorite NFL futures bets. I see Philadelphia winning a playoff game this year. At least that's the NFL futures bets. They have tons of them. Passing yards, TDs, rushing, receiving totals. You can do all that. And right now, new customers, you get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. There's no better place to get ready for football season than on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook and official sports betting partner of the NFL. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
What if I told you your home movies are already past their prime? It's true. The magnetic tape used in VHS and camcorder tapes only lasts between 10 to 20 years, which means your baby's first steps, weddings, and family vacations are fading away as we speak. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box stops this fading process in its tracks. And by preserving your recordings, they're safe forever. Legacy Box is simply the best way to preserve your past, which is why they've been trusted by over 1 million families. Your memories are meant to be shared, not chewed up by the VCR or worn away with time. For a limited time, you can convert your tapes to digital for just $9 a tape. There's never been a better time to convert your entire collection. That includes film reels and photos too. Visit legacybox.com/value to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/value.
If you're looking to furnish your home or replace your old furniture, your journey begins and ends at Bucks County Estate Traders. One piece of advice, make sure you have time when you come here. The 58,000 square foot showroom is a furniture wonderland. Quality high-end pieces with inventory changing daily. It's all here. Mid-century modern, traditional, vintage, antique, and name brands. They'll ship anywhere, or you can pick up in-store. Bucks County Estate Traders in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Free parking at SEPTA stations is over in a little more than a month. There's a competition with Philadelphia teens to create the best anti-gun violence social media campaigns. And a Temple professor's novel was one of 14 that made former President Barack Obama's summer reading list.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
So thank you, Joan Cullen, who put out there that Greg Stocker and Nick Cale and all of us here at Talk Radio 1210 WPHT make the seats on the minibus to the Butler Rally a WWT prize. That's a great idea. Thank you for that. And also, let's see another one. Mega Man had a really good one. We'll probably play this video on Cale. I don't think we have time for the video, but thank you, Mega Man, who put out there. Kamala's Veep, Walls, actually sent his tyrannical agents into Minnesota neighborhoods during COVID to shoot citizens with paintball guns. Now, I don't know about you, but it's because I know it's a shock. I have teenage boys. I don't know if you knew that or not about me, but we go up to Hatfield and these different paintball gun, and it's so much fun. You put on like a big, I don't know, like a jumpsuit, and you can wear a vest and you shoot each other. And I go kind of Rambo, and they're like, "Mom, you're scaring me." Look, I'm like, I got you, and I go crazy. It's a lot of fun. It actually really hurts. Have you been shot by a paintball?
I haven't. That's like the one thing I really want to do still.
We should do a team building exercise here at Talk Radio 12. Wouldn't it be fun?
Oh, me and you teaming up. I don't
Right?
think anyone else would stand a chance.
That's right. But you see a different side of me because I'm like, ah!
Oh, the competitor.
War!
Yeah, the inner competitor comes
Oh,
out.
yeah.
We'll see.
I
You'll
will
see from
get
me,
you.
too.
I will get you. But in this one, that's a sin. They were shooting people with paintballs. Oh my gosh. It hurts though, especially if it's at close range. And they kind of were, but they released thank you, Mega Man, for that. There's so much going on today. All the reaction. Thank you for being here today. And of course, Dom Giordano is good to go, and Dom is locked and loaded with information. Dom, have you ever played paintball? I mean, have you ever been shot by a paintball?
South Philly, though, when they would play, you're in the middle trying to hit with a ball, murder ball, and sometimes softballs were used as a little,
It hurts.
It does hurt. Well, the golf ball still stings too. I can't have that arm.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
And Dan's a big target, so you guys would probably be able to hit him pretty easily.
Well, Tim Walz, I mean,
First
he was.
guy I'm going after.
Yeah.
But how about that? Governor Walz was sending out his team to shoot people with paintballs if they were not masking up during COVID. That's crazy.
He's folksy, though. That's a folksy.
He's folksy.
We're going to talk with Robert Cahaly, our friend, all the way back to 2016, Trafalgar polling. They predicted Trump will win. What do they say Trump has to do?
Ooh, I can't wait to hear. The Dom Show starts now.
Attention! If you owe money to